It's rainy November. It's time to sit inside of the house with a warm cup of tea and play some cozy Half-Life mods to make the time tick away. There are of course loads of mods you can do this with, but there is one mod that I just keep coming back to during dreary periods like these. And that mod is called Half-Life C.A.G.E.D. One of the most well-crafted mods out there. Not only is the gameplay pretty tight and can be pretty difficult at times, but the visuals and the overall style of the mod are very unique and remarkably detailed. And it includes music from Laserhawk, one of my favorite synthwave musicians. So you bet your bottom that I was pretty excited when this mod was coming out. I never really made a full video about it, so I guess today is the day that I finally do that. So let's dive straight into Half-Life C.A.G.E.D.
LambdaGeneration.
But first, a short history lesson. Half-Life C.A.G.E.D. is a mod for the original Half-Life developed by Future Games Select, with Kale George as its designer. But I have a feeling that Future Games Select is just a label that Kale set up himself. The mod takes place in a prison facility named Correctional and Automatic Guardhouse Electronic Detention, or for short, C.A.G.E.D. So yeah, that's where the name comes from. And of course, you have to escape it. You shoot and navigate your way through this facility with very mild environmental puzzles and soldiers in the way. All while a nice synthwave soundtrack by Garrett Hayes, aka Laserhawk, plays in the background and from stereo sets. An official trailer was first uploaded onto the Future Games Select YouTube channel on August 19, 2017, showing off the mod, and it subsequently released on the 21st of September that same year on Steam to positive reviews. Most people praise the visuals and the style because, yes, all of what you see was done on the GoldSrc engine. C.A.G.E.D. has some amazing detail and texture work, making it look leagues and bounds ahead of anything made on this engine. It's quite impressive. But that's no coincidence because, well, let's have a look at the man behind C.A.G.E.D. Who is Kale George exactly?
Who are you?
Well, Kale George actually works in the gaming industry. He's worked as a level designer for studios like Raven, Monolith, and even Valve. Yeah, Kale worked at Valve between 2009 and 2015, at least according to his LinkedIn page. At Valve, he worked on Team Fortress 2 and Portal 2. He left Valve in 2015 to work at Guerrilla Games, where he was a principal game designer for Horizon Zero Dawn. This was seemingly during the same period as where he was developing C.A.G.E.D., so that means he was probably living in the Netherlands while he worked on this. As a Dutch person myself, that makes me kinda proud. He left Guerrilla in 2018 to work at 343 Industries, where he worked on Halo Infinite, only to leave the studio in September of this year, 2023, and guess where he works now? Valve. Yeah, according to his LinkedIn page, he's now back at Valve again as a level designer. It really feels like we're going full circle here. Is it creepy to look through a man's LinkedIn page like this? Yeah, maybe. Sorry. Anywho, now that you know what Half-Life C.A.G.E.D. is and who Kale George is, it's time to dive into my opinion of this mod. I've played it several times over the years, so I do have a thing or two to say about it, so let's dive straight in. Every single time I start playing Half-Life C.A.G.E.D., I have a great time. Yeah, it's very short, clocking in for me at about 37 minutes of gameplay time, but I think that makes it the perfect mod to just pick up and play when you have a little bit of time to kill. For me, the highlight's gotta be the graphics though. I have almost never seen such great texture work in a GoldSrc game before. Like, yeah, having more world geometry and detail brushes in your map will make the mod look more detailed naturally, but it's a whole other thing to master texturing your levels quite like this. Every single place in this mod looks highly detailed because of these textures. Even areas that might not have a lot of geometry going on, they still just look great. And no texture here seems out of place. Well, except for some of these standard Half-Life 1 assets, that is. The scientists especially just look like they come from a different game entirely when placed among these textures. It's the gameplay though that will be the deciding factor whether or not you keep playing the mod or not though. Your mod could have amazing graphics but really bad gameplay, and that would just ruin the experience entirely. I'm glad to say though that C.A.G.E.D. plays pretty well. At least in my experience. I played a mod on medium difficulty most of the time, and never did I ever feel like things were way too hard. However, the mod was actually criticized by people when it came out due to its difficulty. Some people found that these soldiers were made really bullet spongy and they dealt a lot of damage to you. And ammo might not have been super fairly distributed all the time, leaving you without ammo for your favorite guns. Now, I will say that, yeah, the soldiers do feel more like bullet sponges than in the regular game, and ammo is a bit scarce at the beginning of the mod, but those issues get resolved the further along you get. At the end, I didn't really feel like I didn't have enough ammo for my arsenal, and I could take on these soldiers easily. Now, I may not have had ammo for some of the guns that I really wanted to use, though, in these situations, so maybe that's what they meant. But I still did have ammo for my rifle, shotgun, and more, so I was pretty good on that regard. After escaping the caged facility, the only thing we had to do was kill a few soldiers and take down 2 helicopters before we could reach a boat just in time before a last resort nuke went off to destroy the caged facility once and for all. And here we are, riding off into the sunset with Laserhawk blasting in the background. Such a great ending for a mod that didn't overstay its welcome. I would actually say that it understayed its welcome a bit. I would have loved to play through more of this, and I hope that maybe one day we get an extended cut, or maybe even a sequel. Is that likely? Well, a person can dream, right? Now, there sure is more to talk about when it comes to Half-Life Caged, like its developer commentary and the achievement system that the game also has. Look, I got one! But I think I'm going to leave it here for now. I want you all to experience this mod for yourself, so check the description for a link to download it. And if you've already played Caged, what do you think? Did you like the mod, or do you think it's poopy doo-doo? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And don't forget to like the video either. It really gives me more motivation to make more of these kinds of videos. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to pick out some synthwave music, because the synthwave background music finally makes sense for this video.